Hi everyone, Sue here from Women Living Well After 50, and I hope you're waiting with bated breath because Peta Gillian from Strong Healthy Women is joining me today, and she's going to tell us what step 4 is in the 5 essential steps to getting started to an active and healthy lifestyle. So hi Peta, how are you going?
Hey Sue, thanks for having me back again today.
Yes, we're up to step 4. So maybe before we get going, you could just very briefly go through the first 3 steps for those people that missed it, and then we'll see what step 4 is.
Let's do that. So step 1 is all about the why. So really connecting with why your active and healthy lifestyle is important to you. And look, I know that what happens is life can get in the road, and we can certainly lose sight of why it is important, because I've just recently with my insiders done a reminder to actually go back and do the activity that we set for everybody who had listened to day 1, which is, and I'm just going to recap on this really quickly, to write down 10 reasons why your health and fitness is important to you. So do it day 1 and then repeat that for 5 days till you get to 50 reasons why. And you'll be able to categorize those things into what's the outward part of it, so the fitness related part of it, what's the heartfelt part of it, and then just what's that really personal connection as well too. So, all right.
Good exercise.
Then, yeah, it is a great exercise. And then we moved on to the decision-making process. So, and this is where I think it's really important to take the time. So what happens is we can rush into making a decision. So it's sort of like if you're going to buy a new car or you're going to buy a house, that type of thing. We take our time, we do the research, we work out what we want. And so when it comes to working out what fitness program, what health program is going to be right for you, you want to do exactly the same thing. You want to take the time to work out just what it is you want, and you've done that through your why, but then really delving into it and working out where is the right place for you, because ultimately what happens is that is going to save you a lot of time and money, because what happens if you make the decision that isn't quite what you wanted, then you're going to probably find that you've spent the money, you've spent the time on it, and then it's like you're not really using it, and so then you start back again, and you can lose motivation as well, which means that can totally put you on the back foot and you may not move forward. So that's the other aspect of it. Then we talked about starting. So our third step was starting. So that was really going into the process of starting this health and fitness routine, slow and steady. So rather than getting into it really quickly, guns are blazing, because what can happen with that is that you can feel, you may injure yourself because you may not have exercised in the past, as an example. And so therefore, again, you're on the back foot. And so you get disillusioned with it and you may not keep moving forward. The other thing about starting is that, remember, it is about you and not someone else. And what we can do is we compare ourselves to somebody else. We see someone and we go, oh, I'm not up to them. Or, why can they do that and I can't do that? It is not about that. It is totally about you and how you progress.
Yeah, that comparison is a killer at times, isn't it? And everybody can, you can't help yourself sometimes to compare to other people and what they're doing or what you're not doing, but it doesn't really do you any favors. It just makes you feel bad.
Oh. Well, it totally does. And it's one of the things that I've just come off of live in our metabolic jumpstart challenge we're doing. And we just talked about stress.
Yeah.
And so when you compare yourself to others, it does. It puts you under stress, and that has a massive impact on how you feel from a confidence perspective, as well as how your body reacts, and it reacts
Mm.
in a whole host of different ways. And that's maybe a topic we can talk about some other day, Sue.
For sure, because it's everywhere,
Absolutely.
and I think it's been at
Mm.
a dialed right up over the last 6 months with COVID as well.
Totally has, totally has. Which leads us into day four and or step four. Step four is about the commitment. So, making that commitment to yourself. So when you've actually worked out what that why is, so I want you to then, categorize those things. And once you've categorized that why, you then just summarize it. So summarize why this is important to you.
Mm.
So it could be, I want to dance at my grandchildren's weddings, as an example.
Mm.
I want to travel the world when we're able to. Or I want to ski till I'm 90. So
Mm.
whatever that really big motivating factor is that you really, really connect to, do yourself up some pretty little thing, even put it in a frame and shove it on your wall.
Yeah.
Whatever that thing is, my life in 10 years is going to be like this. My life in 20 years is going to be like this. So that's keeping it front and center for you. And that's what's important here when it comes to this commitment side of it. Because you know what? Life is going to happen. It is going to distract us. And so we want to find those ways that keep it in the front part of our mind.
Yeah.
All right. So things like, taking out your calendar. Let's grab a little calendar here, and writing down for yourself, when you're actually going to exercise. What are my days that I'm going to exercise? Now, look, ideally, I'd love you to be exercising every single day because your body needs to move. When you move, you feel better about yourself. You have more confidence in who you are. You reduce stress levels. You eat better. So there's so many other benefits of moving each and every single day. But, I know that may not be practical for you.
No,
So it's
but I
like,
also,
okay.
yeah, I just wanted
Yeah, go
to
on.
talk to you about that point because a lot of women will say, "Oh, I can't do it every day, whether it be time or I'm too old to do it every
Yeah.
day. My body needs the rest. I've got to rest my body." So with that, we do need recovery days, but that doesn't necessarily mean doing nothing, does it?
Oh, no, it totally doesn't mean
Yeah.
doing nothing whatsoever. I am just looking for my metabolic jumpstart guide because it has a really good breakdown because yesterday was move day when we talked about that.
Yeah.
So I just want to pull that up. So, and it doesn't matter what age you are either. So once you get started, actually, let's get over a couple more pages. Here it is. Got it. Okay, so once you get started, you want to start slow. You want to be consistent. And so you've identified what the right type of exercise is for you in the
Yeah.
first case. And look, I'm going to say to you all day, every day, the right type of exercise for the aging body is strength, balance, and flexibility.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
so, that's what you need in an exercise program. And you should be doing that at least 2 to 3 times, ideally, every single week. But what you also need to do with that at least twice a week is take care of your heart, your cardiovascular,
Yeah.
and your lungs. So which therefore means you need high intensity training. So that might simply mean walking upstairs. It could mean going up a mountain for you. It could be doing a workout that actually gets your heart rate pumping.
Mm. Mm.
It could be running, as an example. That's going to get your heart rate up. Or it could be walking really, really quickly. But on the other days, it's all about that moderate movement. That might be a leisurely walk around the place. It could be playing with the grandkids in the park. It could be countless amount of things. Now, here's one thing that I want to really highlight, because I do know that we have a lot of women who like to ride their bikes in our community. Now, with bike riding, it doesn't have impact. There's no impact on that. So it's great exercise for the legs, but it doesn't have any impact. So it's not going to help with bone health. And so what's really important here is that we look after our bones as well. And so when we have strong muscles, when we have exercise that is around impact, then we're going to really help our bones stay strong. And so one of the things that happens is we're more susceptible to falls if we're not doing balanced style exercise. So that's how it all sort of like fits together.
Yeah. So would you just as a rough idea, we would do, say, the strength, flexibility and balance 3 times a week, a couple of days a week, do that high intensity where you're getting your cardio and your heart rate up. And then on how many days is that? 5. And then a couple of days, maybe go for just a normal walk,
Chill out,
or some yoga or something like that as a way to recover with your body.
Yes, totally. So what you'll find with, if you can find a good program which has the strength, balance and flexibility in it, so you're not having to go different types of training sessions, that's ideal. And so it means that otherwise, you're constantly going to different types of workouts, and you don't want to do that, because that's going to take up additional time. So when you can find that, what you can then do is, let's say it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday that you're doing this strength training. So what you then want to do is add in your recovery days. And so you might do a recovery day on the Tuesday, as an example. So that's just, moderate, off you go. But then on the Thursday, you might very well go, this is my heart pounding day. This is my day where I'm really going to put in the big effort. And then on the Friday, you do your strength again. And then on your Saturday and Sunday, well, you might do another heart pounding day on the Saturday. But on the Sunday, that's the day where you just have a little bit of a leisurely approach to it. So by doing all these different activities, what's happening is you're getting variety. So you're not going to get bored with what you're doing. And that can happen, totally happen. You get bored and lose interest in it. What it also means is you're giving your body the opportunity to recover, because you are doing different things all the time. What you're also doing with that is you're increasing your metabolic rate. And of course, what happens is we know that gets slower as we age. We move less as we age as well too. So what we want to do is be conscious that we're actually moving more and doing the types of exercises, types of workouts that can get us, like feeling like our younger selves again, because that's really what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that gets back to that point of, commitment, where you were talking about having a plan and sort of scheduling in the days that you're going to do what, because then that's so, you just look, what you've got to do. And it just, for me, I like to write things down. Every week I look at my diary and I put in what I'm going to be doing, and in all areas of my life. And it just keeps you on track, or it can help to keep you on track, knowing that you've got that plan in place. So I think having that is a good idea, because it does help you to stay a bit more committed.
So this morning what's happened is we've done our Fit Flex program, which is our strength, balance flexibility program that we do.
Yeah.
So with the 6 a.m., I generally will do it with you. It's not, I don't find it where I'm getting my heart pounding, but I am working my muscles and I feel my muscles working. So, you know, I can really feel the impact of that strength on me.
Yeah.
But what happened was I know that I had probably about a half-hour window. So I had about 20 minutes and I knew this. So, but then I had an appointment and then I knew I had about another half hour, which gave me another 20 minutes. So I went, what am I going to do in that 20 minutes? So, you know, I could sit around and swan around and do nothing, but I went, 20 minutes is heaps of time for me to do something else. So, and I did. I did a 20-minute run and, you know, went to my next appointment, you know, just quickly put some deodorant on and changed my clothes. And then after that, I did the same thing. So I did another 20-minute run after that.
Yeah, it's trying to find that those pockets of time as well, because you're never too busy. It's the choices you make. Time isn't really, that shouldn't really come into it. It's whether you make the choice to actually make that part of your life and incorporate that daily movement into your life every day and just make it the lifestyle that you live, like brushing your teeth.
I mean, as an example, so for me, when I worked in the corporate world, what would happen, so I would go and do my strength training 3 times a week. And then what I did was I said to all the team that work with me, does anybody want to go for, you know, a power walk at lunchtime? So there was a whole host of us that used to go out and do this power walk. And in between, when I felt that I was starting to get stressed with work, in my high heel shoes and my corporate suit, I would go up and down the fire stairs in the stairwell. So
in high heels.
It was a great interest. In high heels. Yeah, that's right. You know, I didn't do anything silly, you know, like you've got to really make sure that you don't fall over or anything like that. But there are always ways to incorporate some type of movement into your day. It's whether or not it's important to you.
Yeah, and that's the key. So, you know, everyone starts off with good intentions. So how, you know, what are some ways that people or tools that people can use to sort of help them stay motivated and committed to the cause?
I think one of the most important things is knowing where you are right now. So what are the things that you're struggling with? Is it doing up your shoelaces? You know, are you struggling to bend down and do up your shoelaces? Is it like you have to get your husband to get things off the top shelf because you can't reach up high enough because you don't have that flexibility in your upper body? Or is it that you're using, you know, the bench, so you're pushing up off the, you know, when you get into the cupboard, that you're pushing up off the bench with your hands because you don't have the strength in your lower body? These are the things that you want to pay attention to. Write them down. This is where I am. Because in no time at all, when you start doing the right type of program, you should be able to see an impact even after 2 weeks, 4 weeks, you know, so you can all of a sudden, and I remember Diane saying this to me after 2 weeks. She came in and she said, I was driving in and I was thinking, why on earth at 78 years old am I getting out of bed at this time in the morning to go and do exercise? You know, this is just ridiculous. And she said, and then I realized I actually did up my shoes and I hadn't done that in a long time.
Yeah. And that would have been a great feeling for her.
It was. And she's still at it. You know, so 18 months later, she's still doing it.
And I think that's the other thing too, you build on your achievements. And I think especially with fitness, if you stick at it, you're right, in a couple of weeks you can really see a difference in your fitness level. I know if people are going on a diet or something, they get disheartened because they haven't lost any weight. But I think with exercising, you can if you stick at it seriously for a couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing some results immediately, which is good, because then you can go, oh, well, I feel better. I think I'll keep going and try and do a bit more. So it's just a matter of that getting started, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But it's always important to have these measurements, these benchmarks for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for some people it is measuring themselves. So, measuring bust, arms, legs, all those types of things. And that's okay. Or it could be measuring body fat, or it could be measuring, as I said, the things that you're struggling with and how they're improving in your life. But I think it's good to have various different measures in there as well.
Yeah.
So not just one type. Yeah.
So I know that long-term commitment is hard for some people, and especially if you're doing an outdoor activity and you live in a place where it gets a bit cold, it's easy to say, oh, I just want to stay in bed for, I'm not going to go out and do it. So, and then you start missing a couple of days, and then it starts, oh, well, it just gets that harder to restart again, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that's why it's important to have and be accountable to someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be a friend. It could be your significant other, or it could be a trainer. So, but when you've made that commitment to someone, then it makes all the difference. Now, I know that when you start a program, if you can start it with a friend, so here's the thing, you'll know if they're a good friend or not. So if you say, I'm about to go and do this fitness program, and they say straight away, let me know how I can support you. But if they take it to that next level and they say, I'm coming with you, then you know that they're a good friend, because they're going to come along and support you like 110%, because they are in it, boots and all, with you. And when you've got that friend, it really does help you build this solid commitment process to one another. Because the last thing you get, particularly if you're picking one another up and you're going somewhere, like if you were going to a group training session, it's like you're not going to roll over and go back to sleep, because Jane's waiting for you, type of thing. So you will get out of bed and do it.
Yeah. Well, I know for me, when I said I had always wanted to run, well, when I got into running, and after a while I thought, oh, I'd love to try for a marathon. But by that stage I was 54, and I said to my husband, and I said to my two running friends, I want to run a marathon next year. And they trained with me all year. And then I said to them, and I said, you've trained with me, why don't you just enter? So one of them entered, and she ran it herself. And she always said to me, if you hadn't been doing this and we hadn't been doing it with you every week, and you said to me, you've done all the training, why don't you just do one more run, and you've done it. She said, I would never have done a marathon. And they're not things that you do lightly, especially in your 50s, let me tell you. But just knowing that every week, or whatever training we'd set up, we had to meet each other. And usually it was something like 5:30 in the morning. So that was a huge commitment. But knowing that you had someone there that didn't laugh at you, first of all, when you said, this is what I'm going to do. And secondly, what you suggested, they said, well, yeah, we'll train with you. And it just makes all the difference. But also having a good trainer helps, because they will encourage you and keep you, help to keep you going, and maybe mix up the exercises and things like that. That's why I like doing the workouts with you, because every week we get something different, and I haven't got to think about what I'm going to do. I've just got to come to my session, and and we say to the session, this is what we're doing, and that sort of thing. And that makes it easier as well to stay committed, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Because when you actually have to think about what you're going to do, and if you're not someone who's experienced in, programming
Yeah.
a particular type of exercise or outcome, then, you're just going to gravitate to do the same thing all the time. And of course, you're not going to improve if you continue to do the same thing all the time. So it is really, really important that part of that is to mix it up and to
Yeah.
get that different result that you're looking for. And when you get those different results, that's what keeps you motivated to keep going as well.
Mm.
And
Mm.
as I say, motivation is going to come and go. So
Yeah.
it's when you rely on the consistency, but most importantly, making it a daily practice.
Yeah.
And I always come back to this, you'll hear them being called habits or routines, but I always call it a daily practice because it is something that we're always practicing.
Mm.
It's not something that we're ever going to be experts at and we're ever going to master. It is always coming back to those basics and continuing improving all the time. So even if you only have, so your intention is to do, your 20 minutes high intensity and you have 5 minutes, then that's what you do.
Mm.
So it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because you can at least go, tick, I've moved today and I
Yeah.
put in 110% effort to that particular movement that I'm doing.
Yeah. And do you think it helps joining, say, for example, a Facebook group or a group that and doing a challenge like at the moment we're doing with the Strong Healthy Women, the Metabolic Jumpstart Challenge, and that's sort of a daily check-in
Yeah.
and sort of information that education that we're getting, and you've got the other, you're not on your own doing it, there's other people doing it, so you're all in the group together. Do you think that little challenges like that help to keep you on track as well and committed?
Oh, look, totally they do because in your mind, I'm only doing this for so many days. So um, you're at least going, okay, well, I'm going to commit to it to that many days. So that's the first part of it. When you know that there are other people who are just like you, it comes back down to having that accountability, that support. That makes a heck of a difference to keeping you working out, moving, eating healthy, all of those things. So now you might not be the extrovert, you might be the introvert. So you might quietly be doing it in the background, and that's okay because we're all different personalities and we're all going to respond differently. But when you see other people posting up, it's like, oh, okay, well, I did that today. So I feel really, really good about myself. But here's the thing is it's not about comparing. So we always go back to that.
No, that's
It's
right.
about doing it for you, doing
Yeah.
it for you, totally for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking more
Good.
from
Yeah,
a supportive sort of environment where we're
oh,
all working towards the same thing. And if someone's having a bad day, or, the group might say,
yeah,
well, we're here to support you. You're not on your own. You've got this. And
yeah,
just that little bit of encouragement can go a long way to helping you stay committed to what you want to achieve.
yeah. Look, and I know that with that, so what can happen is you may feel a little uncomfortable with sharing in the group. And so we're getting a lot, a number of emails through where people are saying to us, you know, I know in order to change, I need to change this, but, and my mind knows that, but I'm struggling with this. And so they're reaching out and asking the question. So when you are doing this with other people, you are definitely more motivated. So whether that be something that you're externally showing to other people or you're just reaching out to the coaches, it definitely has an impact.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing too, knowing that that you can reach out and say to people, like even with me sometimes when I was training for the marathon, I was thinking, oh, you know, have I got this in me? I don't know. And I'd even be running with them and going, oh my God, you know, we're only up to 30 kilometres. We've got another 12 to go or whatever, you know, why am I doing this? And then we'd help each other and say, this is why and whatever. But just being able to reach out even to someone anonymously sort of thing or not publicly, but knowing that you can do that, I think you need to have that anything to help you stay committed. But the unfortunate thing is that I think it does still come back to you because other people can't do it for you. So you have to find what is going to make you stay committed to what you want to achieve and how important it is to you and how important you are to yourself. Because we want to do things to be healthy or to achieve things for ourselves. But if we don't believe in ourselves and we don't have that self-respect for ourselves, then we won't stay committed, will we?
No. And you know, we can always have those good intentions, but intentions don't get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And I know for each of us, we want to be healthy, we want to be happy, and we want to have that life that we dream about, whatever that happens to be in 20 years' time. And that is an individual thing. So we're all very, very different in what that looks like.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to always come back to what does it look and feel like for you personally. So it's not about being a certain weight. It's not about being a certain size. It's not about, you know, doing umpteen reps more than somebody else. It's just wholly and solely what does that look and feel like for you.
Yeah. And you know, everybody is different. So what works for one might not work for another, and we don't like the same thing. So it's no point struggling along saying, I hate every minute of this. If it's, you know, you're going to, I think you've got to find what you really enjoy doing. But by the same token, you also need to make sure that what you covered off with the strength, the flexibility, the balance, they're the keys to being healthy and strong as we get older.
Oh, they're totally the keys. Yeah, absolutely. They also keep you mentally active as well too. So if you can get a program that is doing that cognitive training at the same time you're doing that balance work or that weight work, that goes a long way as well too, because you're keeping your brain totally active as well as your body. And there's a huge connection between mind and body.
Yes, very much so.
And so that mind is the thing that is controlling you when it comes to motivation. So think about, you know, you've got the angel and the devil sitting on your shoulders, and the devil's the one who's saying, oh, I don't feel motivated. Oh, I have that sleep in. Whereas the angel's going, get out of bed. Come on, you can do it. I know you can. So you want to start listening to the positive messages that you're getting and believe those positive messages as opposed to listening to the negative messages. And as I said, life is going to get in the road. It is going to distract you. So you find those windows of opportunity where you can do your 5 minutes or your 10 minutes. And that's going to have a big impact because you don't feel like a failure. And that's basically is the thing that can stop us from staying motivated and staying committed, because we go, oh, you know, I'm hopeless at this. I you know, and I can't do it. And look, we hear that. And it's like, well, no, you're not, because you're just learning. And this is about how you're responding to it. So stay committed to the course, be consistent. So as I said, plan it out, once you get that planning in place, then that's going to help you move forward. The next thing about it is that, you know, you hear this, it takes 28 days to make a habit, etc., etc., and there's a lot of research around all this. Well, guess what? There is no golden rule as far as the numbers are concerned. There's an average, which is around about 66 days. So in order to make this part of your lifestyle, you really need to consistently exercise, consistently do something healthy for yourself for at least 66 days. But 66 days may not be your magic number. It could be
No.
less and it could be more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, that's been good today. We you know, just we've done step 4, which is commitment, and we've talked about planning, as you said, and being accountable, maybe telling someone else what
Yeah.
you're doing and trying to enlist some support there. And then also just listening to the positives, trying to bring the positive mantras and everything into your life, and understanding that it's some days are going to be harder than others, but you just keep going at it, and you just keep getting better and better as you go along.
Yeah, and just really making it part of who you are. So I've just recently did a live with our insiders, which are like our VIP group. And so I wanted to remind them of their why. And then I added to that every single day, hand on heart, say out loud or, you know, under your breath, whatever you want to do before you get out of bed. I am healthy. I am fit. Because if you keep telling yourself, you are going to be that.
You will. You will. Well, that's been
Totally
great.
will.
Yeah, so thanks very much for joining us today, Peter. And we've got that booklet where we're going to put the link in for people that still haven't got the 5 essential steps copy there that you've got, and which is a bit of a start. And they can always pop over to the Strong Healthy Women Facebook group, Women Over 50 Get Healthy and Active. And you know, there's everybody there to help them. So, and the Metabolic Jumpstart Challenge. Yeah, I couldn't see that properly,
Yeah.
even with glasses on.
Yeah, it's not too late to get involved in that. So even though we're already into it, all the recordings are there, all the stuff's there. So
yeah, and
not
lots of good information there. I know, because I'm doing it as well this week. So you know, that I'm finding that very interesting. So yes, we'll put the link in as well there. And then next week we're going to finish off with our 5th and final step. So
we are.
So I look forward to having another chat with you next week.
Awesome. That will be fantastic.
All right.
Thanks for having me, Sue.
Yeah, always a pleasure. And if anyone's got any questions in that, they can either direct them to you directly, or get in touch with me, and I can give you I can give them your contact details and that sort of thing. So have a great afternoon, everyone, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.